you get tired, but you don't get tired of it. You can get exhausted because of how much you're giving out and how much you are distributing to those who need it. These are from the South Bend Tribune. And let me read this that I wrote down here. I'm just going to read from these two. One is from 2006, and this one is from 2005. 2006, 2005. Those 2 years are not the years that Heroes Camp started. Those are just the 2 years that they begin to make notice of. It was going on long before they noticed or cared to notice what was going on. Someone probably turned them, forced them, directed them to publish notice of what's been going on all along. So I wrote this down. Every city has a jail. Every state has a prison. Every region has a federal prison. Every city has an abortion clinic. Every city has a courthouse. Every city has a place to deal with people with addictions. But not every city, not every state, not every region has a place that deals with the reason why we have all those other things. They don't want to have a place that deals with all those other things because all those other things make other people money. Prison makes people money. JJC, that makes people money. Abortion clinics, that makes people money. Some years back, I think it was in Pennsylvania, a judge was getting money for convicting mostly blacks because some private company owned the jail. So you, the judge, I will give you a portion of what I'm making if you throw them in jail. Jail is a moneymaker. Prison is a moneymaker. Being a father is not a moneymaker, but being a father develops those who know or get to learn how to rightfully make money. Teaching, training, imparting, being a guide. And so we have this place called Heroes Camp, which, as Pat often says, is, how do you put it? Is a, it'll come back to me. It'll come to me. Let me read this. Let me read 2005 first. I don't particularly like this word here, figure. You're either a father or you're not. Amen. A father figure to me is like being a replica. I can go to the store and buy a model car of a Bentley. It's a figure of a Bentley. It's not a Bentley. But a father is one that is actual. It's real. It's tangible. And so, and the problem with why Heroes Camp hasn't fully been received is because they see us as a figure of something, but we're not a figure, we're the actual. We're the actual. And so you'll hear I've said it before, you'll hear people say, Pat's like a father. No, Pat is a father. You may have your natural father in your life, but I can guarantee you they're not fathering you in areas of your life where you need fathering. And so that's why our basketball court in the middle court, because it's the center focus of what we do. This here, right here, 2005. This is what was on our wall. I'm saying our. 1989, Hills Camp was founded. I came to South Bend in 1994, and I got to see a glimpse of the first gym where they talk about no heat, no water fountain. I came to visit in March. It was freezing. Somebody just showed me what was back there. Graffiti everywhere. So I got a glimpse of Heroes Camp in 1994, went back to Pontiac, and then moved to this area in the year 2000. And then I think 2003, I began to visit this place. I visited this place because someone had took my boys to be with their son to come to Heroes Camp. And so I just happened to be with him to come pick up my boys from Heroes Camp.
That's how it goes.
Huh?
That's how it goes.
That's how we go. And from that initial picking up my boys' visit, I got hooked. I didn't come to play basketball. I didn't come to lift, we had a cold weight on. I didn't come to lift weights. Area for the gym, had a Sam's Club, place for haircuts, had a family room, pool table, ping pong, a few exercise bikes. Man, that was, and just like this place, it was a place that was tucked away. Wasn't out on the main street, wasn't out where everybody could see. You had to, on purpose, find your way there. You had to, on purpose, find your way there. And so, there's a couple things I wanted to read here. It says, don't stop to ask for directions. No one will know them. Don't watch for signs. They are none to follow. Heroes Camp, a basketball, well, this is the way they saw it, because we're not basketball-based. Heroes Camp, a basketball-based youth ministry in northern Indiana, is that kind of place, stashed away in a desolate portion of town, tucked into a closed-down factory that was gutted and converted into warehouse space. It's the kind of place you find when you're lost. It's the kind of place that you find when you're lost. And for some of you, it's not that you're lost. The individuals that brought you into the world got lost. And we were right here to recover you. And not so much, I know there have been times when I describe Heroes Camp, I say that we fill the gap as fathers. Well, we don't just fill the gap, we become fathers. 1989, this is 2022. Can somebody say over? Over 100,000 people have called that man Pops, Dad, or have allowed him to become their father. Now, you can only allow somebody to become your father when you allow yourself to become a son. Because he can only father you to the degree that you become a son and let him father you. Otherwise, he's just a mentor. Otherwise, he's just a role model. Otherwise, he's just a father figure. But man, a father is someone that you let into your entire life. Man, finances, relationships, failures, issues, weaknesses, and strengths. A father. Let me read from this one right here. This says, at 10:15 a.m. on a recent Saturday, about 50 children, nearly all of them young black boys, and that's still the case, young black boys sit quietly and listen to Pat McAfee speak. They are enchanted by his charisma, by the sheer volume of the words booming from his 6'7" frame. At one point, while telling a story of a boy with cancer, he starts talking in tongues. Some go so far as to call him a prophet. But this is no church. On this morning, Maggie shares another story about a kid he knew who went to a rough neighborhood to buy some marijuana, only to see some thugs rape a girl he was with. Look at me. Look at me. Who else got some famous sayings of what Pat said? You listening? You listening? You listening? Look at me, Jacob, look at me. So these aren't new. Man, he's been saying the same thing for 33 plus years. Look at me, Maggie said, I'm trying to teach y'all something because, this was in 2006, I said 2006, and we've heard this before. I'm trying to teach y'all something because you don't know what's around the corner. Anybody heard him say that? You don't know what's around the corner. That wasn't a 2021, 2020 saying. That's something that he's been saying since 1989 to over 100,000 kids. You don't know what's around the corner. I'm trying to teach you something. And what happens? They don't listen, and what he said was around the corner comes around the corner quicker than you thought it was coming around the corner. And so there are many individuals who still don't know what Heroes Camp is, why Heroes Camp is, and even when they try to print it, they still can't find the right word to describe what we really are. Not what we really are, who we really are. So we have staff meetings and we get on the same page. What do we say when people want to know what is Heroes Camp? We are a fathering system. We are a fathering system. Your body has different systems in it. A respiratory system, a digestive system. Each system helps the other system function properly so that you can be a healthy being. Amen. When one system begins to break down, it causes a strain on the other systems as they begin to break down because they can't handle that system. They're trying to make up for what this system is lacking. I'm going to read a couple scriptures and then I'm going to be done. I don't want to go too much over. I want us to turn to James chapter. Let's go to Psalms 82. Psalms 82 and 3. And so we want to talk about, and we're going to be talking about, we want to re-emphasize who Heroes Camp is. Because a father is not a it. A father is not a what. A father is a who. And so since this is a following system, we want to reintroduce to you who Heroes Camp is, because Heroes Camp is a following system, and this represents the heart of our Heavenly Father God, who wants to provide for all of your needs. When I came to Heroes Camp in this day, Pat was still a hooper. Some of y'all have never seen Pat not win. They've seen Pat hoop. Rob used to hoop with him. Dolly, they used to hoop with him. And as fierce as he is in praying in tongues, and as fierce as he is about instruction and directing, just as fierce, well, that was rubber, that wasn't hardwood, that was rubber. Just as fierce, just as competitive. I've never met anybody who wanted to win in everything as much as Pat and I. Who wants to win for even people who don't want to win. Man, but maybe if he can win for you, you'll get a taste of what winning feels like that will make you want to win too. Psalms 82, verse number 2, it says, "How long will you defend the unjust and show partiality to the wicked?" This is what Heroes Camp is about, verse 3. "Defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed. Rescue the weak, rescue the needy, deliver them from the hand of the wicked." And the hand of the wicked is all of those systems that's trying to make money off of you. The educational system. Schools get money for you. The government pays the school a certain amount of money for each student at their school. That's why some school districts didn't want you to be able to go to any school you wanted to. That meant they lose money. South Bend ain't glad y'all get to go to some Penn Harris Madison schools. They're not glad you get to go to some Mishawaka schools. That's money. Mishawaka school is glad y'all coming. That's more money for them. Penn Harris Madison district schools are glad y'all coming. That's more money for them. We are prison. They say you're nothing but a number. In government, you're nothing but a dollar sign. Schools, you're a dollar sign. And Heroes Camp was birthed to defend those who are unable to defend themselves. Last scripture. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17. So the reason why a lot of people don't know about Heroes Camp is because, first and foremost, God is shielding us, protecting us. Chapter 1. Isaiah chapter 1, we're going to look at verse 17. it says in verse 17, learn to do right. How is learning to do right? How do I know when I'm learning to do right? The next thing says, seek justice. Defend the oppressed. Take up the cause of the fatherless. Plead the case of the widow. That's what doing right means. That's what you're doing right. When you seek justice, when you defend the oppressed, when you take up the cause of the fatherless, when you plead the case of the widow. Man, so we got a jail in every city, we got a prison in every city, we got a federal prison in every region, abortion clinics, places to buy drugs, 2 or 3 liquor stores on every corner. Stores that didn't used to sell liquor, now sell liquor. But nowhere is there a place that deals with all of those things. And all of those things, if you calculate it, add it up, is a result of fatherlessness. 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 My father was, we have a great relationship now. My father was in the home. But when it came to relationship, when it came to being taught some things, I was fatherless. Man, working a job, bringing home the paycheck, making sure the bills were paid. Man, he was a great provider in that sense, but was not able to provide for me in other aspects. But because God cares for the orphans and the fatherless, had individuals placed in my life who fathered me in other areas. Man, they fathered me. I was not just another person in their life that they knew. Man, they fathered me. Took time with me. Was patient with me. Corrected me. Instructed me. Directed me. Imparted into me. Took me with them. Showed me. Trained me. Demonstrated. And then, okay, you go ahead, you try. Being a father has nothing to do with what you were born with. Because there are some individuals now who don't want what they were born with connected to them. So they chopping it off. They cutting it off. And then you got some females acting like they got one. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Some of y'all know what I'm talking about? You use it to do number one. So Heroes Camp is about being a father. That's why basketball, yes, but ultimately it's about the cross, and it's about the cross represents a relationship about a father and his son. And the son gave his life because of the father's love for his children. And so Heroes Camp is about fathers and sons, demonstrating what a father is supposed to be so that you as a son will emulate what you saw and become not what you saw, but become greater than what you saw. So every generation ought to be greater than the last. Heroes Camp is a fathering system, and we have not stopped being that for as long as Heroes Camp has been Heroes Camp.